2023. If you do this, you will scuttle our chances of becoming the president in 2023. Ask yourself, all of them that have been president from time immemorial, what benefit has it brought to you as a human being? Absolutely nothing. So you have nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing to lose. You look at them now, how they have now descended on Yoruba people, asking them to concede, give us your forest, we must graze, we must do this, we must do that. And slowly before your eyes, they are giving in, they are capitulating, they are allowing them to go, if you don't give it to us, so Tinubu will not be president in 2023. Tinubu won't be the president. That's what I'm saying to you. And foolishly you will agree and hand over your land to them. And once they take your land over from you, look at how
all right, great and wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world. I am going to actually pause it here and start from here. Where Mazen Nnamdi Kanu told you that Tinubu won't be the president. Because I want to bring your mind to it. Whatever we are doing, I want to bring your mind to it before we proceed to the main cause that actually brought me here this evening. If you are joining us on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, share this video. If you are joining us on Twitter, retweet the video. We have a lot of things to talk about this evening. Just like we have predicted, you have seen what is going on in Nigeria today. And then we are going to be, actually, let me start with dissecting what Mazen Nnamdi Kanu said here. That all of you never knew that this IPOB is for your liberation. Because so many of you see the oil and gas in Biafra land. And then you are championing 2023 Igbo presidency. And then he said that in Yoruba they are asking them to concede and they are capitulating because they say it is their turn 2023. You know, have you seen now that the words of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is like a Bible? Whenever it comes to it, we open it. And he told you that Tinubu will not be the president. Tinubu will not be the president. And the reason why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu told you that Tinubu will not be the president, you will see that it is the reason why they want to prove him wrong. Remember during NSAS protests in 2020, this is exactly the reason why Catriona Len went to Tinubu, to tell Tinubu to go and scare people away from Lekki toll gate. It is your turn in 2023. And now you will see that Tinubu is not the president of Nigeria. Tinubu is not the president-elect in Nigeria. Tinubu is just a president selected in Nigeria by his money. And there is no way he could be the president other than because of the secret that he knows in Aso Rock, and he has to use his money to still buy himself presidency in Nigeria. So that is the reason why I want to bring your mind to it. All of you never knew that IPOB and Radio Biafra and Biafra is for your liberation. Because what you are doing always is that when each time you come out, they will find a way to deceive you. They will find something to actually distract you. And because you are very, very gullible, you always forget so quickly. That is the reason why they are always winning in manipulating you. Let us continue with the message from our leader. Tinubu will not be the president of Nigeria. Now let us continue with the message of our leader.
Hausa. Because there is a saying where we come from. If you want to know what your life is going to become in the future, look at Hausa people. If you want to understand, appreciate, I will say, the life that you are about to bequeath to your children and grandchildren. Look at Hausa people. Is there any Hausa governor today? Is there any Hausa emir? Is there land though? Katsina is Hausa land. Kanu is Hausa land. Sokoto is Hausa land. The Hausa people own it, indigenous to those areas. I'm asking you this question. Is there any Hausa man who's an emir in the north? The answer is no. The same thing is going to happen to you. If you don't rise up now to break, I'm not even asking people to break this rule. Demand for what rightfully belongs to you, your freedom. The freedom to decide. The freedom to write a constitution if you prefer. The freedom to live with whoever you want to live with. That is what we're asking for. But most people misunderstood what we are saying. And today, almost everything we have said about the zoo has come to pass. Everything we have told you, everything I told you has come to pass, hasn't it? Everything. And some people are still questioning and arguing. They said, Fulani will resist by all means necessary, including armed resistance, any attempt to forcefully eject them from the forest. Yoruba, you must ask yourself this question. When we were pursuing them from Ebonyi, why didn't they say something about ESN on Nnamdi Kanu? Why? Have you asked yourself that question? Because they know we are prepared to die to defend our land. They understand that very well. That is the only language the Fulani understand. You cannot say to Fulani, oh, let us have a Fulani president, and after that all will be well. Never, ever, ever. They will continue to expand. They will continue to identify idiots in your midst, traitors, saboteurs in your midst. They will promise them heaven and earth. They will give them anything they ask for in order to ensure that they get into you, they subjugate you. Look at Yoruba land, Ilorin. Yoruba, how did you lose Ilorin? You lost Ilorin because somebody thought or felt that by aligning himself with what he felt was a superior Fulani force, he can defeat his own people. Afonja, what happened? As a result of that miscalculation, the great Yoruba race lost Ilorin to Fulani Caliphate. That is why in Ilorin you have an emir of Ilorin, not an Oba of Ilorin, answerable to Sokoto. That is where Lai Muhammad comes from. You can see them. Sokoto slaves in Yoruba land. When I say that it's not religion, it has nothing to do with religion. It has everything to do with the mentality of a conquered people. Now they have left Ilorin, having taken Ilorin and taken it to Sokoto. They now want to come into Oyo. They want to come into Ondo. Once they take over all those places, it's over for the Yoruba race. Over for you. No, never again will anybody rise a man of honor or integrity in Yoruba land. Never ever. It will only be their stooge. Look at what's happening in the East. Only Fulani stooges can now emerge in the East. It took them very many years, nearly 50 years, to accomplish this very simple task of making sure that everybody, be it Ohanese, be it Pandef, be it governor, anybody you're bringing out must come to the north to swear allegiance to the caliphate. All of them, ban on. Is there any political godfather in the East? There is none. They all go to the north to go and swear allegiance to the Janjaweed. That is why our life is in a mess. That is why they can put someone like Obiozo and make him the Ohanese President General. In front of our eyes, in front of Korokoro. And what did they bribe? They gave money to BBC. They gave money to all Zoo newspapers. They started to trumpet. Obiozo, Apex Group, Apex. You saw them holding their meeting under a canopy. A ton without shame. A whole Ohanese. Under sand, ton canopy. Maybe you saw it disgraceful and shameful. Talking rubbish. The man looks like a Janjaweed anyway. Talking nonsense. These are people they have prepared for you to sell you down the drain. By the time the Fulanis are done with you, believe you me, if you don't rise up now to fight for your freedom, by the time Fulanis are done with you, you'll be more useless than a Hausa peasant doing Babi Yala somewhere in Zaria. That is the future that awaits you. Now, our people must understand this very clearly, especially my Yoruba brothers and sisters. It is about time you stop supporting evil. That evil is in Asorok. That evil is a gang of reprobates calling themselves presidency. The more You keep on supporting evil in the zoo, the more your land will be taken from you. The more your daughters will be raped and abducted, the more your sons will be slaughtered in cold blood. And under one Nigeria, there is nothing you can do about it. Absolutely nothing.
All right, great and wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world. You are welcome to this program, and while you are joining this program, continue to share the video and invite others to join, because it is very, very important. Just like you have heard our leader and what Mazen NECON has to say about what is happening in Nigeria today. This was a broadcast he made, few years ago, with regards to what is going to happen and what you are seeing today. Have you seen now when I say that the broadcast of our leader is like a Bible? Each time you need one of it, you go and bring it. That is the same thing that the enemy will use it somehow to quote it upside down in order to use it to achieve their, selfish aggrandizement. That is how it is. And I want you not to forget that whatever we are doing, we are following that book, that Bible. And that is the reason why the enemy was not able to penetrate. That is the reason why everything they have put in place in order to scuttle the activities of IPOB, to destroy us one way or the other, that is how they have failed. So the more they are actually trying, the more they are failing. The more they are trying, the more they are failing. And I want you, as a Biafran, and those of you who are all over the place, jumping up and down, calling yourself obedient, 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 I want you to know that it is high time that you need to change your mentality. You need to change your mentality. You have become so foolish enough now. The reason why IPOB actually let you do what you want to do, without interference, without even trying to give you a reason to say to mama that IPOB is your reason, IPOB scuttle your chances, it is because we know that this is going to happen. It is because we have seen today, yesterday. I told you, each and every time I come online, I told you that anybody that will tell you no election in Biafra land is a criminal. Because they are, the reason why they are telling you no election in Biafra land, it was only because they have planned, the way they are, which they are going to use to rig the election. They have planned to rig the election, and that is the reason why they will continue to tell you no election in Biafra land, no election in Biafra land, for you to actually, capitulate. Once you capitulate, the thing that will happen, it will now become that you, as an individual, you are the reason why. The only chance they will call it for them to achieve Igbo presidency, which they have been clamoring for in the last, 50 years, I may say, that you are the one who scuttled it. Now we are going back, down through the history. In the year 1963, do you know the reason why census of Nigeria? Okay, let me start with the first election. The first election that took place in the year 1959, on the eve of the independence, it was rigged and courtesy of the Britain. They rigged the first election courtesy of the Britain, and the evidence is right there. The evidence, the man that helped them to rig the election basically confessed, and it is right there in the public domain. It is there for everyone to see on the public domain. And I have made that exposition, which is so many things. There is something that we, most of the time when we actually speak in media platforms, or when we are actually, granted media, space, or national media space to talk about it, when we talk about these things, they will think that we are actually talking, it is all about propaganda. Because I was speaking on a radio today, and I was actually talking about these things. I know they believe that I was actually talking propaganda. It is a national radio, but at the end of it all, I managed to squeeze many of it in before they actually cut me off, because they believe I cannot defend what I was saying. And in this regard, it is very, very important that we make these things known to the public. In 1959, Britain rigged election in Nigeria. They introduced election rigging in Nigeria in 1959. In 1963, there was a manipulation in the census. And the reason why for this manipulation of the census in Nigeria is as a result of what you are seeing today. Rigging of the election, marginalization of the southern part of Nigeria, eastern part of Nigeria to be precise, to marginalize them, to tell them that politics is a game of number. That is the reason why they rigged the census in 1963. That is the reason why they manipulated the census in 1963. And then another thing that I actually noticed that happened in Nigeria in 1998, it was about changing the introduction of the INEC. Introduction of the INEC. It used to be what they call NECON. Is it National Electoral Commission of Nigeria? NECON, National Electoral Commission of Nigeria, which is national. Now the reason why Britain advised Salami Abubakar to make it, to introduce INEC, to make it independent electoral commission. The reason why it become independent is that people like Tinubu, who are so rich with your money, they can easily walk in, because it is independent, it is not nationally controlled right now. Now they can easily walk in and dish to them a huge amount of money that they cannot say no to, and they will give him Nigeria president. That is the reason why they introduced independent electoral commission instead of National Electoral Commission of Nigeria, which is supposed to be national. It is Ohazuluku. It is no longer like that. It is now independent. So their decision cannot be questioned, except you take it to the judiciary. And when you go to the judiciary, Fulani Federal system is controlling the judiciary of Nigeria. The Fulani Federal system controls the judiciary of Nigeria. It is not quite long ago. I will not say, let me take you through the memory lane, because it just happened, few months ago. In the month of October, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, in the month of 13th of October, is it 13th or the 14th of October, 2022, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was granted, was discharged and acquitted by the higher court of appeal in Nigeria. By the higher court in Nigeria. Not the lower court. Not the baby court. Not the customary court. Not any other court. Not high court, but appeal court, which is a higher court. He was discharged and acquitted because of the FULQNI feudal system. They actually override the decision of the court. Override the decision of the court. That is the same court. So many people will be advising obedient and obedience, will be advising them now to go and present their case, and tell the youth who are following him to come away from the street or stop their protest, go to the court and challenge. If you believe there is election malpractices, if you believe there is election rigging, you should go to this same court that is same controlled by the feudal system that FULQNI practice. He will go there, they will waste his time. After wasting his time, they will still tell him, take heart. They will still tell him, take heart. And they will start tuning him that, in 20, when is the election coming again? After 4 years, right? Which is 2023. We are in 2027. You will make yourself available. Maybe you will win. At least you have marketed your Labour Party. You will have structure by then. I keep on telling you people that are Nigerians, those ignorant one Nigerianists, you are in a zoological republic. There is nothing that will come out of zoological republic. In case if you do not know, nothing absolutely will come out of zoological republic. It is not a Nazareth. That is zoological republic. At least Nazareth, good thing came out of it. Christ came out of Nazareth. This is zoological republic. The only thing that will come out of zoological republic is that when you unleash the lion, it will go and eat buffalo, or go and eat antelope, or go and prey on other animals. That is what you see in zoological republic. And when we call it zoological republic, you should actually, we are actually pitying it, and we are actually giving it a lot of respect. We are not insulting it. We are giving it respect, because if you want to call it for what it is, you call it a jungle, because a jungle is where the bigger animals or the dangerous animal, carnivorous, are left. They don't have rules there. What they do is that they keep on preying on other animals, except if the animals decide to walk in their park. Are you now seeing the way you are going to defeat those big animals in the jungle? When you decide to walk in your park, it is not going to vote to tell lion you will be the king of this jungle. It will not stop lion from making preying on you. It is only when you walk in your park and tell lion, you don't cross our territory. Enough is enough now. We have to actually take our fate by ourselves. We have to actually determine what is going to happen to us. We have to actually, call the shot here, because this jungle is not only for you, lion. If you refuse to walk in your park, you continue to believe that selection process is going to help you in Nigeria. I told you time without number. I told you over and over again that Peter Obi will never be the president of Nigeria. Peter Obi will never be given the president of Nigeria. I told you Tinubu is a bullion van. Tinubu is a bullion van. Atiku was the, choice of Fulani. Atiku was choice of Fulani. But they know that Tinubu, they have planned on what they will do with Tinubu. Because of that money, they can never reject that money. You see that money that Tinubu took out to bribe the independent electoral commission or independent electoral. You must start calling it. It's no longer INEC. You must call it Is it INEC? INSC, Independent Selectoral Commission. That is the new name of such platform or such entity that after election they do selection. Independent Selectoral Commission. That is exactly the way you are going. The reason why they accepted Tinubu, they could not say no to that billion van. They could not say no to him. So they have already placed their own man, which is already a terrorist. Of course, me and you know that the man that is the young man behind Tinubu is a terrorist. And Tinubu is forgetful. Tinubu is sick. Tinubu is old. If you declare the real age of Tinubu, you will understand that Tinubu is more than maybe 85 to 90 years old. He is using football age, African football age. That's what the age Tinubu is using. Upon all this, evidences that, show the indictment of Tinubu, upon all the things that Tinubu have done to people. Now, I want to bring in this as a logic. Let me not actually start, speculating. Let me bring a logic to it. In the year 2020, Tinubu is the one in charge of Lekki Tollgate. In the year 2020, when there was a Lekki Tollgate massacre, when people were protesting to end the SARS who were preying on people's organ. Now, when the British envoy made a visit to Tinubu, after the British envoy made a visit to Tinubu in the name of Catriona Land, and then what happened next? Mazen Nnamdi Kanu alerted you all that they are going to send military to kill you. Did he not, or did he do that, or did he not do that? He alerted you that they are going to send military to kill you. And the British envoy did not hide the fact that she went to visit Tinubu. And she took a picture, she posted it on the public domain. And now, after some hours of visiting Tinubu, after maybe 24 but less than 48 hours of visiting Tinubu, what happened? Military was deployed to the Lekki toll gate, cameras was removed. I mean, people were shot at with live ammunition, with AK-47, with G3 magazine, with machine gun. They opened fire in hundreds of thousands of people just to scare them away. The same Tinubu who want you to move away from his toll gate because he is losing money from that toll gate. The same Tinubu. The logic there now is, who would want to vote Tinubu into office? In this regard, when the whole Nigeria came out to protest against the police brutality, against the SARS harvesting organs of people, selling it in Europe and in Asia, against police, which is named as SARS, law enforcers, harvesting people's organ, killing them and dumping them in the river, not even giving them a burial. This same Tinubu was involved in the massacre in Lekki Tollgate. The same Tinubu, how could someone wake up to vote for him? We know there are people he bribed in the social media. We know there is people from coastal region he bribed in the likes of Asare Dokubo, in the likes of the idiot in Britain, the boy, Pomo boy in Britain. In the likes of him, he was bribed, he was given money to promote Tinubu. Those whom you saw promoting Tinubu were people who were given money. There is nobody that is in their natural mind or in their normal state of mind that actually supported Tinubu, except those that was given money. Now you begin to understand the reason why your cash was taken away. Now you begin to understand. I told you this before all these things. I told you this before the result. The reason why your cash was taken away, because Tinubu have given, he was proactive, and his group. Who was that guy? Somebody in that comment section, remind me, who is Tinubu's second in command? Who is his second in command? It was Shettima. Shettima, right? It was Shettima. Shettima is the Tinubu's second in command. And Shettima is a Fulani man. Shettima you have seen Shettima in several occasions with Boko Haram. Haven't you seen him? Of course, you have seen Shettima with Boko Haram. You have seen Shettima with terrorists. It is not a propaganda, because so many people who believe that we are actually promoting propaganda, we are not. Everything we are saying here, the evidence is there in the public domain. We are not saying what we do not know. And we are not trying to instigate anybody. What we are saying here, it is what happened to us. If I will make my stance known, I am technically a Nigerian, originally a Biafran. That is how I introduce myself. Whether be it in a media house, if I decide to represent Biafra in any media house, I introduce myself as technically a Nigerian, originally a Biafran. So in this regard, I want you to know that Shettima have been seen with terrorists in Nigeria. We are still going to talk about the terrorism in Africa, how they come, how it is actually emanating, and where they are actually targeted to take it next. We're going there. Don't go anywhere. I want you now to understand that the reason why they accepted Tinubu's bribe and seized the cash from flowing, it is because Tinubu was proactive in bribing. They don't want to say no to other people. That is the reason why they actually passed a law that there will be no cash flow in Nigeria. Because when these things was happening, Tinubu was already given a bullion van. He already made his arrangement because he's Jagaban guy man. You know, if he is a very, very, intelligent person, Tinubu. But the only problem is that the intelligence is actually channeled into negativity. The intelligence of that guy, if he had that intelligence in good thing, he will be invincible. But his intelligence is only in criminality, that he make use of it. He was inducted In America, a president was indicted in America for a crime. He is still the one who was selected to be your first citizen of Nigeria. And now I have told you time without number. When Tinubu becomes the president of Nigeria, your Nigeria, not mine. Your Nigeria, not mine. Because I am now going to start, answering my Biafra. Because I am a Biafran. Technically a Nigerian. But I don't want to be technical anymore. I want to be original this time around. Because the technicality has never helped me. Technicality gave me a bad name. Technicality gave me that each and every place you pass, be it in Europe, each and every place you go, be it in African country, they would see you as criminal because of that technicality of you being a Nigerian. Before Britain decided, to give you make you a Nigerian. It is very, very important that we put the world on notice that all this shenanigan happening in Nigeria, it is human being that is bearing it. It is not animals. Except those who want to behave like animals. That is the reason why we have called you the zoo. Because there are people who live in there who think like animals, who behave like animals, who does not have sense of humor, who are not reasonable. There are those in the same zoological republic, and that is exactly the reason why we call them what we call them. Because these are typical black people. Typical black mind. They say to you, black is evil. I want you, if you are living in Nigeria, in Africa, I want you to stop praying every activities of darkness die by fire. Until you stop praying that prayer, you will never ever emancipate. Until you stop praying die by fire, every power of darkness die by fire. But you are blackness. You are blackness according to what they have called you. You are still praying every activities of darkness die by fire. You are praying for you to die by fire. You are praying for your brain to die by fire. Stop all this rubbish type of prayers you are making. Because it is bouncing back. It never helped you. It is time for radical. It is time for radicality. Because if you don't wake up now, what is to come in Nigeria? Forget Jagaban. Jagaban is not the plan. Jagaban will be taken. Mark my word, mark today's date. Is Jagaban to be the president of Nigeria? If all this shenanigan at the end of it, they say, okay, Jagaban, you are now the president of Nigeria. Jagaban will be taken out. It will not exceed 2 years. Write today's date. It is right in front of your screen. Today is Thursday, the March 2nd, 2023. It is actually 16 minutes before the top of the hour. Regardless of where you are watching from, it is 16 minutes before the top of the hour. And in Biafra land, the holy land of Biafra, where there is a 0 latitude and 0 longitude, it is actually 15 minutes before 9 o'clock in the land of the rising sun. And what we are here to prophesy is that the sun shall rise from the east, part of that area of sub-Saharan. The people and the children of Chukwokika Abiyama will gather The suppliant will gather and present their offering to their God, to their chi, Chukwu Okike Abiama, who lives in heaven, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, or the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He will accept our offering, because what we are seeing now, it is already written unto us. We are going to see it, and 2 parts of us will be cut off. And I keep saying this each and every time I come online. 2 parts of us shall be cut off. And those that are going to be cut off are mostly the ignorant people. Those who are very, very ignorant, they shall be cut off from among us. And the remaining ones will now know the law and embrace it. Now, let me not deviate from what I am saying. Tinubu is not the plan. Shettima is the plan. And Shettima is going to be your president in no distant time. Tinubu have signed his death warrant. This is, I am actually telling you, according to the algorithm. If I am into church or Christianity, I will tell you I'm prophesying. But I am not telling you because I saw it being planned. But I am following the algorithm. I am following the, the move of FULQNI. Like the way I followed it, I said anybody who will tell you that there will be no election in Biafra land, they are criminal. They have collected money from Tinubu. And that is exactly the same thing that you have seen. Those of you who are always in this platform, you will know I ring it like a gong. I play it like a music every time I come online. Who were going to be blamed? IPOB. Because they are going to one. If we did not start shouting it, it was going to be blamed on IPOB. Me and you. Then now you will see US, or you will see Tony Blinken, or Institute of Peace. They will say that IPOB is deemed to be anti-democratic movement and must be placed on a watching list or watch list. Their activities must be investigated. That is what you will be hearing on the headline. Because they have actually assigned this guy in their syndicate. Like I was saying on Radio Biafra on Tuesday, when we were there on Radio Biafra, these are the members of a syndicate. The real reason why I call them the members of a syndicate. Syndicate means a group of people who are well organized in their criminal activities. Illegal activities, I may say it if I want to place a terminology to it, in their illegal activities. And they are well organized, well funded. They have their network. Many people, the difference between this one of autopilot is that many of them that are championing the activities of this syndicate, they are not aware of what they are doing. And their ignorance continue to compel them to do what they are doing. Those of you who are not ignorant, you would have actually noticed that each time I'm talking about myself, each time I come online, I tell you that this is going to be like this. You believe it because you have seen that happening. You have seen it happening. We don't talk until we know what we are going to say. In that their syndicate, many of them were recruited, believing they are doing IPOB, they are fighting for Biafra. That is when you know a double agent. There is a way you will be a double agent without you knowing that you are playing a double agent role. So when you look at the activities of autopilot and the emergence of autopilot, you will know the timing, emergence of Idu, the timing, emergence of the people on the side of the truth, the timing. They are all the same people. Idu on the side of the truth, autopilot, and New Dimension. Emergence of all these things, they are one people. Even though they started actually segregating because money becomes a problem. In this syndicate, or in this type of organization, the only thing that becomes their problem is always money. Why? Because now those who does not know whom they are working for, but they know that they are on up to something. Today you have seen those who knew from the beginning what they are working for, that how they put them together to work with each other, to carry each other along. Just like the Akwa Ibom boy, who will always call you, come and tell you, Akwa Ibom is Biafra, we will continue to fight to defend our land. Without you knowing, Akwa Ibom is Biafra is for you to follow him, for him to gain momentum, for him to gain your sympathy. At the end of the day, he will use it to tell you, screw you. And that's what he did. From the time they started this, their shenanigan, he told you that Ojukwu is the problem, Ojukwu this, Ojukwu that, Igbo people are the problem. Hasn't that shown you where these people has been going? The fact that their leader in this media syndicate, their leader, which is Eba in Finland, Eberima in Finland. Eberima simply means a rogue in Finland, who actually was very, very, cunning. He was very cunning. Everything he does it with, a plan. He plans them. He is not coming to just start ranting on social media like Akwa Ibom boy, Nelly. That's why they casted so quickly. He was very articulative in brainwashing you. He was very articulative. You know why he was articulative? He is westernized. That's the reason why he is articulative. He is he is westernized. He left the zoological republic called Nigeria, which is the British contraption. He left the Nigeria when he was still a minor. And he found himself in Finland. He began to champion everything that the Europeans champion. Anything that European does, he began to do it. He blended in and become European. Why do you think that he will do something opposite from what Europeans want? Because they made him their citizen. They actually, gave him even a position in local politics. No, let's be logical about that. They made him their citizen. They gave him position in their local politics. Why do you think he will not be westernized? A person who left Nigeria probably at the age of 16, 17 years old, a minor, and has been in Europe for 2 decades. For 2 decades, without returning home. He became westernized. And the same people rose up and tell you that he knows the roadmap to Biafra. The same people who rose up to tell you sit at home. The same person rose up to tell you to start commanding you around. Now, that is now, what he did and how you people responded to it is now showing us where we need to channel the decolonization, where we need to channel the education. It is about, our people understanding that, because it looks like when we tell you that Britain is your problem, when we tell you that the Western nations are the reason why the system is destroying you, making you run away from it, you believe is a myth. I am understanding that you believe is a myth. It is not a myth. That is something that we actually need to get into your brain. If you get it into your brain, you will understand that Simon is a westernized fool who actually found himself opportunity of making money, making extra dough. But the people who recruited him did not come to him directly. They sent people. And how they sent people, they used these same people. He believed that these people, remember that they will always come as people who want to, make you, a better person, or a person who want to champion your cause, or somebody who want to elevate you. And some of you may call them, I have seen my destiny helper. I have seen my destiny helper. And in the quest of you seeing your destiny helper, you will end up, making a big blunder that will destroy you for good. The reason why they cannot show themselves, those who actually brought him to what he is doing today, the reason why they could not show themselves, you know why? Because if the mission failed, they will have, actually have him to be blamed. They will still come to prosecute him. Because of course he does not know who hired him. If the mission failed, they will prosecute him. That is the plan. And that is exactly what is going on today. The mission is failed. The mission needs to be aborted. But the problem there is that the idiot that has been used like as a willing tool, he does not want to be warm. He does not want to be hot or to be cold. He wants to be lukewarm. And the reason why he decides to be lukewarm is because of ignorant and egotistic nature of him. And when you extend the egotistic nature of him, you bring it and actually, pin it to the stereotype. Pin it to the stereotype. I don't want to elaborate on this thing of stereotype because so many of you will misunderstand it or misinterpret it. That the stereotype is the reason why he is still doing what he is doing. He is drowning, yet he is acting like he is actually warming up. He is drowning. His computers was taken away for investigation. Did he tell you? The answer is no. He wouldn't tell you. He is drowning. He is sick. He is not well. I don't wish him ill because I'm not in a position to wish him ill. The nature will actually take its course in his life for the sake of people he has killed, For the sake of people he has lured to their death, nature will take its course. The reason why I cannot wish him ill, if he happens to be a Biafra blood, truly, I am not in a position to wish him ill. The nature will take its course. That's where I stand. That is me. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Pray for your enemy. That is the reason why so many occasions people come to my comment section commenting that you will go to your grave. If you go to my comment section, people are cursing me because of their master Simon Ekpa, who is already drowning. They're telling me I am going to go to my grave. They're telling me all sort of things without seeing that the person they are protecting is drowning. The most important thing that you need to understand is that the Western world, they use us against us. The manipulators, they use us against us. And how they use us against us, you might not be able to know. You might not be able to decode it. When they use you against you, you will be believing that they are trying to help you. You will be believing that they are giving you a diplomatic help. You will be believing that they are giving you a diplomatic assistance without you knowing that they are using you against you, which is the very, very, which is very, very dangerous, because something you cannot understand what is happening. Where you cannot understand what is happening, but you are championing something that you don't know exactly what you are doing, it is very dangerous. That is the reason why even the Bible says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. When you lack knowledge, you become ignorant. And it is very, very dangerous. Ignorant people. People who are ignorant are the most dangerous people. Because ignorance will take them to destroy you that is next to them, or that is believing in them. Ignorance will make you, will take them to destroy you, because they don't want to drown. They won't drown alone. They won't sink alone. So why am I saying this? It is something like I was going through the news, African news today. I was because, as an African decolonization activist and as a political activist, my obligation is that Africa must be free from the shackle of this neo-colonial power, of a shackle of imperialism. Africa must be free. And that is the reason why I make sure that I follow everything, every news that is emanating from Africa. And I saw this news, I was very, very, surprised. Do you know why I was surprised? Because how are these people manipulating us? How do they manipulate us? I will tell you. This news I am following, I saw it. Let me see if I will be able to bring it out to your screen. If I will not be able to bring it, I will read it for you. Okay, now let me see if I will be able to bring it to your screen. Then we will deliberate on it. Just one moment. I don't know if it is going to share. All right, it is not going to. If it is going to share, it is going to be a screen share. Let's try to do a screen share, but the screen share is crazy. It is going to share everything It is basically going to share what I have here. Okay, let me do this. Let me do the screen share, is okay. Now, I hope you are seeing the news right in front of your screen. It says, government concerned about 22 Afghanistan nationals on the run from the Taliban who were granted asylum in SA. I don't know if you are seeing that news in front of your screen. In SA, let us continue to read. Okay, South Africa, Johannesburg, the minister in the presidency, Monthly Gungubele, said they are going to take the lead from the Home Affairs Minister regarding the 22 Afghan nationals seeking asylum in South Africa. Now, let us see, because the court advised that you are concerned about in the appeal. Okay, the court advised that what you are concerned about in the appeal is what you can consider, and when they consider whether they qualify for whatever kind of status, the court may not be necessary platform to deal with that. But we are concerned that any country or human being can just dump people in your country and automatically expect that this country will just accept them. Accept them. Gungubele said South Africans, including the political party ATM, also expressed concern amid the Pretoria High Court ruling in favor of the 22 Afghanistan nationals who wanted asylum in the country. The court ruling was frowned upon by some who asked why not seek asylum in other countries. Now, the Home Affairs Department said it would abide by the ruling of the court and take all necessary steps to give effect to the ruling. This is despite the fact that Department Minister Aaron Motsoaledi opposed the application entry of asylum seekers into the country. Now, why did he oppose this? I might not be able to read further. I want you to actually go and if you want to know further about this news, you can actually go and research further about it. But now, based on I have actually went through this information, or the information thereof, this is 22 Afghanistan nationals who were running away from, according to the story. I want to actually bring this to you, to what we are doing right now. I want to bring it to you because I told you how this big world, they are manipulating the small world, which they see to be the second and third world country, which is Africa. Now listen up. They actually sent these 22 Afghanistans, was bundled and sent to South Africa direct by American NGOs. American NGOs. Upon arrival, they actually already set up a law. They have, set up a lawyer and they take the matter to court for South Africa to compel South Africa to grant these people asylum in South Africa, which according to that information, the Minister of Home Affairs is actually, not buying the stories of these people, because the argument has been, how can these people travel all the way from Afghanistan? They didn't go to America, they didn't go to Canada, they did not go to other Asia countries or Arab countries around them. They found their way to South Africa. And the argument also has also been embedded on the warnings of terrorist activities in South Africa. It has also been embedded on the warnings from the USA about the terrorist activities in South Africa, which was the time they issued the warning in Nigeria. They issued it in South Africa. Was there any other place they issued the warning in Africa? It was Nigeria and South Africa. They issued that warning. And then that warning, it never happened in South Africa, according to the argument. And now, there was another warning they issued in South Africa, which is, I think they said to their citizens to start preparing and stockpiling food and other things. I don't know what for. I didn't follow that one. So, after all these things, you will now see 22 Afghanistans. These Afghanistan people, I believe they have served America diligently while America was still in Afghanistan. They served them diligently. They helped them to fight according to the history or the story of them, they helped them to fight the Taliban. Now they believe Taliban, the story is that Taliban might kill them or might execute them, so they have to find a refuge. Taliban and the takeover in Afghanistan did not happen yesterday. Taliban and takeover of Afghanistan did not happen 1 month ago. I believe it's almost a year, if not more than a year. More than a year. This Taliban issue. Now the Afghanistan, all this while, they haven't found a refuge. They found their way, 22 of them found their way, making their way to South Africa. So if they make their way to South Africa and go into South Africa, who is going to keep tabs of their activities? Who is going to make sure that these people they call Taliban is not among them? Who is going to make sure that these people they called terrorists is not among them? The issue now becomes, how does terrorists emanate in Africa? Because if you want to define terrorism are, they are a group of people who are well organized. I can call them the group of syndicates because they have a network. They are funded by top officials somewhere in the big world or somewhere in Africa. They are funded by somebody who is in politics, and they are willing to go into a country in Africa because African countries, they believe and they know that African countries, once you bring the money, they will not say no to. They will capitulate. So when they actually bring in these people, some NGOs will send some, 1 or 2 people, because they know they have their network there already in Nigeria. They have their network there already in Mozambique. They have their network there already in South Africa, maybe. That when these people make their way into that countries, they will settle down. They will start recruiting underground. And some government official will not even know that they will be helping them. Because these people might come and start doing humanitarian job, start dishing out money, dishing out humanitarian help, and all these things. Because NGOs, the big world, are actually using NGO to monitor the activities of the small world. And this big world, when they use these NGOs, they have people who do clandestine job for the big world. Inside these NGOs, now they will come in, they will act like they are helping your country without you knowing, embedded in their religion, without you knowing. They are recruiting people who is going to actually give your country a problem. I am telling you how terrorism emanates in Africa, how it starts. Of course, they believe Africans does not have intelligence. We are intelligent, but we don't have network. We have network, but not a broad network. I cannot say we have network of intelligence, but we don't have it broad because we don't have sponsors and any other, all those things, but we have our own network. Now, in this regard, when these people, if Facebook kicks you out, try to bring yourself back up, because such, topic, they don't want us to preach it, they don't want us to talk about it. But this is for the life of our people. It is for your life, it is for my life. Someone has to be a sacrificial lamb. Someone has to talk about it for something to be done. Every day you hear terrorism in Africa, terrorism there, terrorism there. It is actually taking over the whole of Africa. When is it going to stop? It has to be. That problem must be corrected from somewhere. And if you ask me, I believe that South Africa might correct it if they are resilient. I am not saying that it is terrorists coming into their country, but the warnings has been issued to them. Warnings has been issued to them. Now, okay, after all these things, when they settle in your country, let me not deviate. When they settle in that country, they will be recruiting. Remember, the people they will be recruiting are hungry people. People that are tired of this world. People that are tired of life. People who might even want to commit suicide because of Iko Wagulafa. They will be recruiting them, putting them in homes, putting them in a particular place. You will be thinking that they are taking care of these people. That you will be thinking that this is a NGO home. Or is it NGO? Yeah. You will be thinking that this is where they look after these people without you knowing what they are instilling in these people. The next thing, they will start deploying them. They will find a location where there is no maybe network. They will find a location where you cannot access without them seeing you. Once they find that location for them, they have settled. Before you take them out. And remember, whatever they are doing, there will be an insider inside the government who will make sure that these people are safe, supply them everything they want, protect them, give them information that these people are going to come and attack. So you must get ready, or you move from your location, you relocate. So these are the reason why this terrorism network in Africa has never been eradicated. Because they will find somebody in the government. They will start working with them, just like what is happening in Nigeria today. Many government officials, Nigeria is run by a terrorist government. the vice president of Tinubu. You have seen him on several occasions with terrorists. You have heard him talking about if you kill terrorists, you are killing his own people. On the voice phone interview, on the voice call, he cannot, because the only thing they do, how they get away with it, once you present such evidence, they will tell you it's doctored. That is what they do. When they have a government official who knows the security operation in the country, once they have them, the person will be giving them information because they have used money to mess that person up. He will not even change his mind. He will be giving them informations, how the activities of the security is, giving them information on your security database. If the country intelligence is very weak, they will one day invade the database and collect and be in the database themselves. So, it is very important. I advise our brothers and sisters in South Africa, because we have so many of our people in South Africa as well, because we don't want to, as they run away from Nigeria because of this violent, this killing, terrorism, dehumanization, extortion, exploitation, and all these things. And when they go there, one day it will start happening there. I know that they have gone there, and even in South Africa, we have our brothers, our people who are there, that are the people from there. Like I told you, when I read the book of Genesis for you, I told you you will see the names from people in Zimbabwe, South Africa, Kenya, Congo, Sierra Leone, all those places, you will find those people. So in this regard, I actually kind of like what their minister is doing. The news I read, if it is indeed what he is doing, it is I applaud him for that, and he needs the support of other African leaders. He needs the support of people of South Africa, because once you go wrong, to make it right is very difficult. Terrorism in Africa. Terrorism in Africa. Now, why did I come to it? The reason why I came to it is for so many of you that when we tell you that big world is the problem, people who are affiliated to the big world, who believe in the big world blindly, they will never give you anything freedom in Africa. Do you know why? The autopilot leader is, he is big world. He's from big world. If you believe that he is still from you, Africa, or he is still like thinking the way you are thinking in Africa, he is not. That is the reason why he was able to put up an act in the last 2 years and manipulating you stage by stage, telling you he know when Biafra will come, stage by stage. He keep on bringing it out. Each and every day he come online, he bring new story. He tell you that he is going to get you Biafra. 3 days left, I believe. Is it 4 days or 3? Either 4 or 5 days left. That he's going to give you Biafra. Why is he not giving you Biafra? Why? He will not give you because he does not believe in giving you Biafra. What he came to do, he found that as a career because he was already bankrupt. His bogus law firm has been bankrupt. According to the Finland news that you and I have seen, the fact that we have regatta media in Nigeria does not mean the Europeans, they investigate before they engage. They told you that he was bankrupt before he went into, in 2020. In 2020, of course, he started his shenanigan. He planned his shenanigan, which all of them, so many of them, COVID-19 rendered them bankrupt. COVID-19 rendered them unemployed, especially those who were self-employed. Like I said to you, COVID-19 harmed me financially. A lot, it harmed me financially. But it will not make me now to start exploiting my own people, to start killing my own people, because I am shouting, what they want to hear. At the end, I will start killing them in the name of sit at home, in the name of making myself relevant. No, the last thing I will do is to think evil about my own people. The last thing I will ever do. The reason why I am actually telling you this, it is because I am decolonized. I am not the same as you people. Maybe not all of you. Many of you are free from mental slavery. That is the reason why I don't condone black on black violence. Black on black violence has been our problem. Black on black violence has been our problem. When a black man will see a fellow black man and call him brother, regardless of where they come from, and see him as his own reflection, we are in this together. I believe we are going to actually, build a safe haven where we found ourselves. We cannot do things together because of the barrier. Now, saying that does not mean that blacks on black or blacks are not different people. There are blacks that are from different origin, like Fulani. Fulani, they are different people. They are not the black people like you. They are different people from different, migration. Now you will understand. Starting from the beginning, when all these things started, segregation started, Ishmael, Isaac, then you have Jacob, you have Edomite, Esau, you have Jacob, Israelite. So starting from there was different nations. But your own people, you must love them with all your heart, the way you love yourself.
Like this, Kenneth Okonkwo, we will know now, we be the Woto master.
Is very sensitive, so they have to do what they have to do. And Facebook, but my greatest surprise, YouTube as well. Only Twitter was not kicked out. I don't know. So you are welcome back. Even on Facebook, we are back on Facebook. They just interrupted the audience. They know that the audience will find it difficult because they will not send I know they will not send invitation. They will not send the invitation back to the audience. I know that. But if you are joining us again, share the video, invite others to join, just like you have shared the video. Share it again, invite others to join. So now I want you to know what we were talking about. You know, that is a distraction. Whenever they kick us out on some of these platforms, it is a distraction because it is actually going to, we are talking out of our brain, out of our heart. We are not reading a script, so they know it. They know that whatever we come to talk about, it is in our mind, and they know how to actually, you know, destabilize it or distract it and remove the audience, knowing that they don't send notification anymore to our audience. They are restricting, but the voice of the oppressed must be heard, and that is the reason why we are here. We will continue to preach this gospel, and we are not going back, regardless of what they throw at us. So, as I was saying, the fight that you see, that the war that you see that autopilot wage against IPOB, it is a war. It is a proxy war. A proxy war. That is what autopilot waged against IPOB. You can see the enormity of the instigation, the enormity of all these, you know, attacks on the structure, on the leadership. You can see it. And some of those who actually decided to deviate and fall on the roadside, because so many seeds were actually planted. Some of them fall on the roadside, some of them erosion took them away, some of them germinated. I am talking to you. The obedient shenanigan and the selection in Nigeria have not taught you a lesson. A fool at 40 is a fool forever. Now coming to obedient people, those who has been clamoring obedient. Some of them was in the autopilot also. Like a king in Solomon, do you still see him anymore? You don't see him anymore. There was a time before you stopped seeing him, before he came out. I told you that so many of them, they hide their faces, they hide their platform, they are supporting obedient. Did I say it or did I not say it before King Solomon came out and from there he disappeared? This is what all of them has been doing with you, playing with your mind. Some of them, like Eberima in Finland, supporting Tinubu in secret. Just like Nsima, supporting Tinubu in secret until they saw that this is no longer... of course, you are collecting money, you can't be playing secret game. The only reason why Eberima has to play secret game is because he needs to cause a chaos in Biafra land. Had it been he succeeded in that chaos, this selection process, you will not see it as a selection process. You will say that Biafrans did not vote for obedience because it is IPOB. That is what the news will be telling you today. Now, where are those obedient movements? Are you still movementing? Obedient to movement. I hope you are still movementing. You are movementing now, calling for your vote to be given to you. When I told you since last year that your vote does not count. The opinion and the decisions of the ordinary people does not matter in Nigeria. Did you believe it? You never believed it. You believe that this is just Judge Money talking. Judge Money like to talk. I told you that your vote, your opinion, you don't matter in Nigeria. The only people that matters in Nigeria is the political class. Political class, they are the people that matters. They are the people that, you know, when they speak, it comes to pass. When they act, it is actually heard everywhere. When you make a decision like such lady who was broken, they broke her eye, she still was resolute enough to still vote. I am happy that all these things happened. For you to see, it does not matter how much you work hard to support one Nigeria. It will never stand. It is a building in a wrong foundation which will never ever favor anybody. Nigeria's structure is created to favor those who built it. Did you build Nigeria? Why was census manipulated in 1963? Because they want to continue to manipulate the vote, telling you it is a game of number. Obedient people does not have the number, and they believe obedient people is only those people they manipulated the accounts in the census, telling you that the North, the FULQNIs, are to numbered you. Are you now seeing the result of the manipulations of 1963 census? Because so many of you forget so soon. You forget so quickly. That has been the problem you have in that zoological republic called Nigeria. You forget. Who introduced election rigging? Britain. The confession is there. Who advised Fulani to manipulate the census? Britain. Because they want you to be marginalized. And as a result of that, you have been marginalized in the last 50 years. Nigeria at 60, a fool at 40 is a fool forever. When you pass 40 years, you continue to say a fool at 40 is a fool forever. You that is using your mouth to say a fool at 40 is a fool forever. You pass 30 years, you did not fix Nigeria. You never got Nigeria right. You passed 35 years, you never got Nigeria right. You passed 40 years, you never got Nigeria right. You, for once, practice what you preach. Because some of you just talk because you hear people say it. You just talk. Nigeria at 63. A fool at 40 is a fool forever. Yet you believe that this fool forever will still, there is a magic that will happen. This fool forever that is already 60 years old. Is it when he gets to 100 that you will know that it will never, there is no mequatarism. There is nothing that you will do to actually bring anything change in Nigeria. You can't. If, let me ask you, let me tell you, let me just give you, let me call it, let me use an idiom. And in this idiom, it is like a terminology, but it is, I will put it in idiom. Okay, I want you to go now. You have 5-bedroom house, or maybe you have 3-bedroom house. I want you to go now and remove the roof, put a decking on top, put double-story building on top of it, and see if it is going to stand. 2-bedroom house or even 5-bedroom houses. I want you to go now, put a decking on top of it, and build 2-story building on top of it, and see if it is going to stand for a very long time. If it can stand, it means that Nigeria that you are trying to, bring a change to, is going to stand. If it cannot stand, it means that Nigeria will never stand. Because you trying to do anything or change Nigeria, you are trying to build on a foundation that is not meant for what you are building for. Foundation of Nigeria, which is the structure I always call. I always use the word structure. It is the foundation of Nigeria which was laid by the neo-colonialists, by the colonialists. And this structure was laid because they are now leaving you. They are now leaving the power with you. Leaving the power with you, they know that they have to build a foundation, lay a wrong footing that you will never get familiar with, and they will not introduce you to be familiar with it, so that it will continue to exploit you. That is the foundation you see called Nigeria. and until you actually begin to think like a human being, because so many of you think from your earners. Believe you me, so many of our people, they think from their earners. They don't think from their brain. That is likewise all these people who are calling for Igbo presidency. When they tell Hope Uzodinma, go and kill your people, you go and kill. When they tell Wike, go and kill in Obibo, he go and kill. You have seen the real picture of this Wike and his people. That is all freedom. Obedient, did Wike betray you or not? These are the people who are actually acting as if they are with you. Did he betray you or not? He betrayed you. All these things are the things you people need to put into consideration and now understand that Nigeria is a fraudulent country. A country that will never stand to favor the people who owns it or who is presumed to be owners of it. I can say it in that way. It is a right terminology. People who is presumed to be owners of it, it will never work in your favor. Never, ever work in your favor. It will only work in the favor of those who created it. That is the reason why America was advertising your election. Britain was advertising your election. After advertising your election, they already know that their favorite party is APC. After advertising your election, now is there anybody saying anything about it? Now they will now introduce foreign policy. Foreign policy. Remember they threatened they will not give visa. What is Tinubu going to do with their visa? Tinubu will go to Dubai, Arab country, where he is his fellow Muslim. That's where he will go. If you, of course, no one is denying him visa. Is he not going to go for United Nations program as a president representative? Is he not going to go for UNGA program when it comes? Is he not going to go for, he's going to represent you. How are they going to deny him visa? So when they say this to you, they know that you are a black man. They will use all this rubbish to brainwash you. If you rig election, we deny you visa. Visa to heaven. So, why do you think it is the best they can do? If they indeed want to help you. They brought Obi to scuttle the chances of our people agitating for Biafra. They brought Obi to delay the process of Biafra. They brought Obi to use Obi to destroy IPOB and the Biafra restoration by telling you that IPOB is the reason why Obi will not win. IPOB, because of our diplomatic mindset, because of our wisdom, because of us following the move of FULQNI and their British counterpart and their Western counterpart and their agenda. We follow it. We see them before they see us. We say to Obi, we are not going to interfere with your shenanigan. Carry it out, then you will blame the right people. Where is Obi today? Where are you, Obi? Because if it is Tinubu that you rig election against, Tinubu was going to go wacko. The whole world was going to know what is in Aso Rock. If it was Tinubu, that is the reason why I love some of the Yorubas. Because Yoruba man is not, he will tell you sometimes he will say it if he want, without fear or favor. You see, the no lie. The way he is campaigning, the way he is actually, going wacko. That is Yoruba for you. An Igbo man, you will be saying, you will be believing that you will continue to keep faith in your doubts while you are drowning. Is it after you have drowned and no one is noticing you anymore, that you will now know, you will start now fighting? I want to come up, I want to come up. If you are indeed a person who have the interests of those idiots that are running around you, I can categorically tell you, you should have made a press release. You should now say to the people, IPOB is not the problem. Nnamdi Kanu is not the problem. You didn't want to talk about it, right? Because you believe the North will not vote for you. Now, after the North voted for you, what happened? They stole it from you. So who is fooling who? Who is fooling who? I ask you. All these things you are rallying, protesting, telling Obidient to give you, Nigeria give you your vote. You are wasting your time. You need to call for a revolution. It is now or never. Revolution is the only thing that will take you out of this your, misery. Revolution. Join IPOB, join restoration of your indigenous nation before British came. Before a white man came to that area of sub-Saharan that is seen as nigger area, a byword. You are called by a byword and you are answering it. You believe something good will come out of the insult that they are calling you. This insult that they are calling you, you believe something will come out of you. Nothing will come out of you. The meaning of nigger is a bad omen, according to the English dictionary. Then they put it area. That is the reason why when you hear people from North country, you will hear them calling you Nigeria. Because that is the true meaning of your name. That is your true name. Nigeria, nigger area. If you want to call it slowly, nigger area. It is a byword, an insult. You are bearing it. You believe that it will transition you to fourth industrial revolution. You believe it will transition you to anything that is good or beneficial to the people who dwell in it, or people who is presumed to be owners of it. It will never, because you are already been, you are being run by a program that is not built to favor you as an ordinary person. The political class can only force it because they will steal from it. They will steal from the system to enrich themselves. So they will run private jets, their wives will be running all over the country. They don't care about you. They don't care about you. If you tell Obidient, those who are calling Obidient to take his vote or to give Obidient his vote, you don't love yourself, you don't love Obidient. Because I can assure you, if eventually they decide to say, now, the international community start talking, they say, let's give it to Obidient. You should know they have planned what they will do to Obidient. They will use terrorists to swallow Nigeria overnight. Overnight. You are crying for the imposter in Asorok. You are crying because of him. I want you to know that if Obidient go there, the cry you will be worse than imposter in Asorok. Do you think Tinubu, all his money that he has lost, you will think he will allow Obidient to enjoy the seat of power? Do you think Atiku will allow? Do you think Northern Coalition Group will allow? Do you think there is anything amongst Fulani Caliphate and their group? You think they will allow them? You think Islamic State will allow Christians to rule over you? That's why they gave Tinubu's Muslim ticket. And you believe that. Okay, now, Tinubu started buying the Christian pastors, criminals, all of them. None of them is a good person. According to the Bible, Micah 3:11, Jeremiah 6:13, Ezekiel, in the book of Ezekiel, Matthew, it is all of them. The Tinubu started buying them first by wearing priest regalia to go and follow him, work with him, Muslim ticket, just to brainwash people. And at the end of the day, you capitulate. You accepted it. Muslim ticket. Today they have imposed Muslim ticket. Now it is double Muslim that is going to rule over you. Now remember what we have believed you. 2023 Islamic State must be restored in Nigeria. It is the agenda. Islam will be declared in Nigeria if you as obedient or obedient will not wake up from your slumber and decide to make your destiny by yourself and stop this your stupid running up and down. Obedient will help you. There is no politician that will help you. The only thing that will help Nigeria as a contraption of Britain, it is actually referendum. This is the voice of Chukwu Okike Abiama speaking. It is not the voice of man. That is the reason why I speak to you fearlessly. I don't care about who is crying or who don't like me. I tell you the way it is. It is referendum. If you like, if you try it again, you will fail. Obi, if you don't wake up now, Obi, what is his name? Peter Obi. If you don't wake up now to all these people you have deceived, both those who went and got injured in their eyes, that scar will never move away from them for the sake of supporting you. If you don't stand up and start now to tell people what Nigeria is all about, Chukwu Okike Abiama will hurt you. Chukwu Okike Abiama will not spare you. It is indeed true you are loved by these people. They love you because they believe that you are their prayer answered. They abandoned Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for the sake of you, obedient. They abandoned Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the Messiah in Nigeria, the Nigeria Messiah. They abandoned him for the sake of hoping that something good will come out of you, Obi. Today, Obi, you are not talking. You are not granting interview. I haven't seen if you have. Until I see. You have not granted interview. You have not been vocal about this system that rigged thee out of it. It is plain to see that the system was bought in the favor of Muslim ticket, because they have to have a Muslim man in power for the Islamic agenda to be fulfilled. Tinubu, who will forget his what you need to say. You think he will remember when Shetima will give him a paper? Tinubu sign this. He will sign Islamic State into law. He wouldn't even know when he signed it. If he refused to sign it, they will kill him before his time, before 2 years. If you refuse to go their way, they will kill him before 2 years. I hope you are paying attention. Those of you, share this video. And I want you to know that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because they have seen that he is the Messiah of these ordinary people in Nigeria, the reason why they have placed him in a solitary confinement. I want so many of you to go and actually read the story of Robert Sobukwe. Robert Sobukwe. He is the founding father, he is founding member of Pan-Africanism. Founding member of Pan-Africanism in 1959, thereabout. He is the founding father of Pan-Africanism. Founding member. The story of Robert Sobukwe is a man who is actually, he knows what he believes. He promotes what he believes, and he's ready to die for what he believes. He is a man who loves his people. He's a man who wants to, total emancipate his people. Who wanted total freedom for his people. These are the people that were supposed to be celebrated, not actually Mandela. I can categorically tell you. Anybody that the big world is celebrating is not a true hero for Africa. Anybody that is celebrated by the big world is not the true hero of this Africa. Is a hero for the big world. It is not easy for the big world to celebrate a black man. It means that he's not the true hero of black people. He's a hero of the big world. Now, Robert Sebukwe, I was reading through the history of Robert Sebukwe. I found out that the same thing that they are doing to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was the same thing they did to Robert Sebukwe. Remember, the colonization of South Africa started with Britain before going in the 18th century. It went to the hands of Netherlands. Now, in that regard, Robert Sebukwe was fighting for the freedom. Robert Sebukwe was fighting for total freedom of his people. The same thing they are doing to Mazi is what they did to him. He was discharged and acquitted by the court. And they actually amended a section in the Constitution that had him rearrested. And not only rearrested, he was placed in a solitary confinement. He was placed in a solitary confinement Sorry for that. He was placed in a solitary confinement. Do you know why? Because his influence, he has this ability to influence people around him. He has this knowledge that he can influence you, can teach you. Do you know how? The reason why they put him in a solitary confinement after rearresting him is for him not to have access to people, to try to see if they will destroy his mind, to try to make sure that he will never ever give this his wisdom, pass it through to another person. Now, after placing him in a solitary confinement, you know what happened to him? After he was released, not a long time ago, he developed an illness. He developed an illness. He died of that illness. I believe it is the plan of Britain and Nigeria against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Maybe one day they will just release him when they know that what they had, the poison they have been giving him, is now uncurable. You know they can give you a cancer. You can actually be given a cancer. You can actually be given all sort of sickness. How was Bob Marley died? They gave him a shoe. He put on the shoe. Something, poked him from the shoe. From there, that was the problem of Bob Marley. That's when his sickness started and how he died. But the most important thing is that we are telling Nigeria, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, whether he is released today, tomorrow, we will hold you responsible if anything happened to him in the next 20 years. We will hold you responsible. in the next 20 years, we will hold Nigeria responsible. If you release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, this is no longer, this is not 18th century, or this is not 19th century. This is 21st century. We are not in 19th century anymore. We are in 21st century, where there is technology, there is intelligence. Peaceful means possible to achieve our freedom. Until otherwise, we are not scared to die to save our children. We are not scared to die. Our ancestors, our parents laid the foundation. They died that our, their remnant may survive to fight from where they stopped. I'm talking about our two fathers, not our forefathers. They died for the sake that we may live. And we are the remnant of them. And we have risen from their ashes. And we are going to make sure that their death is not accounted for, for nothing. That is the reason why the only man that actually woke up, you want to kill him. You're poisoning him in the solitary confinement, using his siblings to, cover it up. It will not work. Not patriarchal settings. The patriarchal settings will tell you the reason why patriarchy is being abolished. Because today, everything that is happening, every man, African men are now, they are psychologically destroyed. Psychologically destroyed. So now, every action of every black man against, a woman, it is because of this societal and patriarchal settings of Africa which made them to believe that they are the one, they own this thing. It is not about the patriarchal settings. The patriarchal settings was what God gave to us as Africa. The fact that the big world came and colonized us, placed us into this mess, that our men are traumatized, our men are destroyed. So many of them that are psychologically, imbalanced. They end up killing their loved ones. They call it is because of your patriarchal society. Western world, they used to practice matriarchal society. They have matriarchal society. They couldn't, practice patriarchy because it was difficult for them. That's why they come to impose it on us. They destroyed our minds. We now see our loved ones as our problems, that we end up killing our loved ones, which is our wives, or we end up actually having gender-based violent. But the patriarchal society is a society set up that is built to care for your woman, that is built to make sure you are the provider, you are the leader, you are not abuser of women, because women, when they present everything about your household. When people see your woman, they will now say, nah, this family is wealthy, because they see it through your women. That is the patriarchal society we practice in Africa. It is not the society we use to kill our women. It is not the society that kills or intimidates women. It is as a result of colonial, activities, and as a result of the system that has been introduced. People are destroyed. They don't have the system to take them through a rehabilitation process. Patriarchal society of Africa, we cherish and respect our women. We love them because they are our pride. That is the reason why they say, beside every successful man, there is a woman. Beside every successful man, there is a woman. Because that woman is the person that will make you more successful. Because you are there to lead. And she is there to be loved by you. Not to be abused. Not to be beaten up. Or not to be ostracized. Or not to be your slave. He is there to build with you. So many media and mainstream media today, they are preaching against the patriarchal, society of Africa, believing that it is the patriarchal settings that is the problem of Africa. It is not. The problem is the mind. That is the reason why we preach mind emancipation. Once we are able to emancipate our mind from mental slavery, we will be able to understand that when you take out your time to choose a woman and they leave their family to be with you, you will understand that this woman is now part of you. It is not your toy. She is not your